Now, obviously, once you've got your link wheel created, you need to start thinking about doing some SEO work on each spoke. You've got to start promoting those as well, so that you're going to get traffic to your site and start earning a decent amount of money from it. Now, there's plenty of techniques that you can use to promote your link wheel, and we're just going to talk about a couple of them right now. Now, when you create each spoke, the first thing you do once the site's created is ping it. So you'd go to somewhere like Pingoat or Pingler or Ping.in or somewhere like that. Any one of these ping sites, it doesn't matter which one you use. It really, really doesn't. They all do the same thing. And you would go to that site and then you ping. You use it to ping your spoke that you've just created. And what this will do is this will notify the search engines that the site's there, and it will start getting traffic to it. So it's going to get it spidered, it's going to start getting it looked at. So it's very important. That's pretty much the first thing you do when you finish creating a spoke. You would then social bookmark it. Now, you could outsource this, you could use software, or you could use a tool like onlywire.com, which I can highly recommend as it's free. So what you would do is you would social bookmark each spoke. Again, that tells the search engines it's there, it tells it there's a new site, and it's going to get backlinks into your website, and hopefully it will get you some traffic as well. If it gets picked up on the social bookmarking site, then you can get some good traffic from it. Many of the spokes, now not all of them, but some of the spokes will provide you with an RSS feed. Now take this RSS feed and submit it to the RSS directories. What's this going to do? It's going to get the search engines to your site, it's going to get you backlinks. And quite often with some of the social bookmarking sites and the RSS directories, these entries will rank independently for that keyword. So quite often you can get yet another entry in the top 10 results from this. So these are all ways of getting your site noticed by the search engines, getting it indexed, and start to get some backlinks, which obviously is going to boost each spoke up the search engine rankings a little. And then you need to do some link building to each spoke. So basically you've got to start promoting the spokes. You know, you can use the backlink packets, you can use many other techniques, but you've got to try and get each spoke ranking. You've got to start getting traffic from each spoke. So you may do some blog commenting, or if it's Squidoo, you may go and find other related lenses and leave a comment, or put your link in the link lists, anything like that. All of that is going to get traffic and links through to your spoke, your site, and it's going to help it boost up the search engine rankings. Now, something you could use that's very effective is press releases. Submit some press releases, even do some SEO on the press releases once they're submitted, and again, you're going to rank well. It could be another entry in the top 10 search engine results, so you can't go wrong with all this. And finally, you can use article marketing. Now, any traffic generation technique will work, but article marketing is very, very effective again. You can either write articles and submit them to Ezine articles, or you can take PLR articles, spin them, and blast them out to all the other article directories. It's entirely up to you how you want to work it, but article marketing is going to get you a good number of incoming links through to your website. So you've got to promote each of the spokes, because you want each spoke to rank well. You want them to rank independently of your money site. Now, if you have done well with these sites, you can get a lot of results in the top 10, and quite honestly, that's going to see your income do really, really well. You want the link wheel spokes ranking, you want them getting traffic, you want them funneling that traffic through to your money site, as well as the fact they're funneling the link love that helps boost your money site higher in the search engine rankings. So you've got to remember that the page rank is passing through from each of your spokes to your money site. So if you can get one of your spokes up to say it's a page rank 5, and it's passing through to your money site, then obviously that's extremely effective. It really, really is, because it's going to give that money site a massive boost up, because of course you've got a page rank 5 site linking to it. So you want to create a network of sites that have got good page ranks that obviously is going to help your money site so that you earn more from it. High page rank links is going to help you incredibly. It really, really is. So you've got to do this. Now, this technique works very well if you've created your money site and then you've created a ring of sites around it that you own, domain names that are then promoting your money site. Because if those have high page ranks and you absolutely own them, they're your own domain name, not a Web 2.0 property, you've built some very valuable virtual real estate. It means that when you have a new site and you want to give it a boost, you just put a link on that high page rank site, and it's going to give your new site an instant credibility in the eyes of the search engines, which obviously is very, very good for you. But it's a tried and tested technique, all of this. It works very, very well. The techniques we talked about are ones that are very, very effective. But if you've got other favourite traffic generation techniques, then use all those. There's nothing wrong with you using any technique that will get the link wheel spokes ranking well. Now, there's lots of software out there that will create hundreds of links for you very, very quickly. So you could use those if you wanted to, but it's not necessary. You can just use whatever techniques work for you. It doesn't matter. But you've got to promote the spokes. At very, very least, you want to do the pinging, the social bookmarking, the RSS directory submission. That's the minimum that you want to do to achieve some results. If you do more, then obviously that's going to be better for you. But it's important not to leave any footprints when you're promoting your URL and creating it, and we're going to talk about this in more detail in a little while, is don't leave behind any footprints. If you leave behind something which the search engines can trace and say, aha, it's this guy, he owns all these sites, it could have a negative effect on your empire. Whereas if you've created sites following some of the techniques we talked about here, and you've randomized the linking structure, you've created, used different keywords as anchor text, and some of the other texts we'll talk about, then you're going to find that you don't leave a footprint and you don't get any of your sites removed. Some of the Web 2.0 sites are fiercely anti-internet marketers, so you do need to be careful how you create your sites there. But follow the techniques we'll talk about in a couple of videos time and you won't have a problem. But remember, you have to not only promote your money site, but promote the spokes of your link wheel, because the better your link wheel spokes rank, the higher your money site will rank, because sort of the link love, if you like, the link juice, whatever you want to call it, flows through from the spokes to your money site. So the better your spokes are doing, the better your money site will do. And it's simple. It takes you 10 minutes to use the simple techniques, but if you want to go into use article marketing and a bit more with the spokes, it's going to take a little bit more time, but you're going to see some really, really good results when you finish. And as we've stressed a number of times throughout this video program, you can end up dominating the top 10 search results in Google, which frankly is only going to do you an awful lot of good in terms of income and traffic. So let's talk a little bit about content for your link wheel now. Now, the type of content you use will depend upon your strategy for your link wheel. Are you looking at dominating the top 10 and having human visitors? Or are you basically not fussed about the human visitors and all you want is to get the links to your site? If you really want human visitors and you want to rank well, then you need unique content. It has to be well written, unique content, either written by yourself or outsourced. It doesn't matter which. If you're outsourcing it, be prepared to pay sort of $10-ish for decent quality content. Now, if you're creating, say, a 10 link wheel, a 10-spoke link wheel, each one maybe has 2 pieces of content on it, that means you need 20 unique pieces of content. Now, this isn't particularly practical, because it's going to take you a couple of days to write it, or it's going to cost you a couple of $100 to outsource it. So what you might do is you might get 2 or 3 unique articles written, and then spin it or something else to stretch the content out so you can use it in your link wheels. Now, the last thing you want is for all your link wheels to be identical in content if you are expecting real people to visit and you want them to read it. If it's all the same, they're going to leave the site very quickly, because they're going to go, well, I've seen this already, and go. So if you've got unique content on each one, it's very, very powerful, because you can really dominate the search results. The other option, of course, is to use private label rights content. Now, this can be used as is or rewritten, or, as we'll talk about in a minute, spun. It depends upon what you want to achieve. Now, PLR content you're probably going to use if you are not too worried about humans ever really visiting it, because again, you don't want people coming to your site and going, oh, I've already seen this. Yeah, they've seen it lots and lots of places. You want them to come there, find something fresh, new and interesting, and then obviously come through to your money site. The final option, of course, is spun content. It can be either unique or PLR spun. Now, in reality, what you are likely to use is a combination of these. You're likely to use some unique content, some spun unique content, some rewritten or spun PLR content. You're going to use a combination of it because it's probably most cost effective, and it's also going to give you sort of the quickest and the best results. So you're likely to use a combination of this, and it will vary from link wheel to link wheel as to, do you have PLR content that's good enough quality? Do you have access to a spinner? Have you got someone to write the unique content? So it's going to vary. But what I want to do now is just talk a little bit more about spinning the content, because spinning is another thing that people don't really understand, and there's a lot of, shall we say, mystique and a lot of misunderstanding. So firstly, you need a 450 plus word article. You need a decent length article. If it's too short, then it's not really enough content for link wheel. You want something that's good length. About 450, 500 to 600 words is enough. Any longer than that, and you might as well stretch it out a little bit longer and split it into two. So somewhere between 450 and 600-ish words, and not exact figures. So somewhere around that. Once you've done that, you won't then want to use your particular spinning syntax to rewrite each sentence 3 times. Now, this will vary according to what type of spinner software you're using, but basically you rewrite each sentence 3 times. And you will find that perhaps you can't rewrite all of them. You may find that some of them you can only rewrite once or twice. Other sentences you may be able to rewrite 5 or 6 times. So, you know, 3's a sort of average you're looking for. So some will be less and some will be more. Just, you know, if you can rewrite it a number of times, rewrite it that number of times. Then within each sentence that you've rewritten, basically every single one of the sentences, you spin as many phrases and words as you can. So if there's a phrase that you can spin, you spin it. If there's a single word you can spin, you spin that as well. So you spin the single words typically with synonyms and the phrases with other phrases that mean the same. You will spin contractions with the full version, so can't becomes cannot, your becomes you are, there becomes they are, and so on. And what this does is this varies the word length of the article and helps make it that little bit more unique. Now, if you've got numbers, you may spin those between number 1 and the word 1. If you've got lists, you may do those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I, IV, V, VI, and so on, or A, B, C, D, E, something like that. So you've got to try and spin as much as you can so it varies and looks different. And if you can do that, then obviously that's going to make the article highly unique. You're going to get a massive level of uniqueness, which means you can get 50, 60, 70 plus articles out of a single article that are really, really unique. And that is fantastic and just what you want, because the more unique your articles are, then obviously the better it's going to be for you, simply because you're going to have unique content that looks and sounds different on all of your link wheel properties. Now, there are automated spinners out there that you can use, and I've experimented with a few of them, and I can honestly say that whilst they do produce a high level of uniqueness, they don't produce content that is readable for humans. There's plenty of words which have many meanings in the English language, which the spinners don't understand the context. They just look at the word and spin that word. They don't understand the context which the word is being used in. So, for example, one niche that I've seen a lot of recently is, say, past life regression. Now, put that into an automated spinner and life and regression will be left alone. But past will be spun to previous, past and previous. And of course, previous life regression doesn't make sense. It's not the same thing. And there's many other examples like that. So you can use an automated spinner if you're creating canon fodder that's just for the search engines and you don't care about real visitors ever actually seeing it. And if you do that, then obviously, be aware that it's not going to read properly and it's not going to make sense. But if you follow through what we've talked about here for spinning your link wheel content, then you are going to find that it's very, very good. You're going to get some really, really good, unique content. That means your link wheel is going to be unique. So that means that every single site can rank very, very well, and you are much more in the chance of dominating the search engine results and really, really, being the #1 player in your particular niche. Now, when it comes to outsourcing your link wheel creation, you do need to be aware that you get what you pay for. Now, if you pay a decent amount of money, you are, in most cases, likely to get a decent service. If you don't, then the chances are you may not. So be aware that if you pay peanuts, you're probably going to end up hiring a monkey. So this is one of the places you can come. It's called Digital Point Forums. If you go to forums.digitalpoint.com, you will need to register before you can post. It's free to do so. Just click on the link up here. Now, Digital Point is, how should I describe it? Now, without offending anyone, it's sort of like the poor man's Warrior Forum, if you like. The Warrior Forum is quite high class, and you can find link wheel services there. But the Digital Point is a bit, shall we say, more. If you want to compare it, let's think of the Warriors Forum as like your Macy's or your high class store, somewhere, your Tiffany's or a big mall or something like that. Whereas Digital Point is more like sort of a tiny street market somewhere in the corner of Marrakesh. There's lots of people screeching and shouting, lots of people ready to rip you off and pick your pocket at a drop of a hat. Whereas in your high class mall, you're not going to get that. So come here, with your hand firmly on your wallet and be prepared. So the reason I'm showing you is that its big advantage is you can get some seriously cheap work done here, and I mean seriously cheap work. I mean, I had somebody, if you know OnlyWire has 40 services on it, social bookmarking sites. Somebody from here, I paid $15 to create 5 email accounts and 5 accounts on every single one of those social bookmarking sites. So that was 40 times 5, 200 social bookmarking accounts. So you can get some seriously cheap work here, and people think it's great. Now the $15 I paid for that wasn't the lowest bid. There was bids a lot lower than that. So be aware that you can get some great deals here. So what you can do is you either post a thread saying that you want to buy. Now if you're selling something here, you can see these 2 posts here. It has a WTS and a WTB. If you want to hire somebody, you'd put WTB want to buy, and you put something like want to buy link wheel creation services. And what it will do is that people will answer you. You'll get deluged with people wanting to do it, varying levels of skill. So you have to set your criteria and say, well, don't give the amount you're willing to pay. So what you would do is you say, I want someone to create me 60 Web 2.0 sites on a list of sites that I provide, using a separate email address for each one, providing me with a report of all of the sites created and the user ID and password and email address and password used for each one. And you say something like, provide me with a quote on how much you will want to be paid for this, or let me know how much you want to be paid to do this work, and people will come back to you. If you set a budget, then people will always say, well, I'll do it for that much. So if you ask them to quote, you'll get a wide variety of answers, and some low, some high, and then you can have a bit of research, look at each one, look at people's iTraders, which is like their feedback as to how well they performed, and then you can pick somebody from that. That's usually how I do it, and you find some good people. So it'll be somewhere here under services. Let's have a look, like under traffic, for example. So you can see here there's all sorts of people selling traffic, lots and lots of people. So what I'm going to do, let me find somebody who will do some link wheels for us. So here we have someone that will do a link wheel and ping your site at the same time. Here they tell you the information, and here's the pricing. Okay, if we look here, you can see 60 spokes, $60, 100 spokes, $120. So that's not really bad pricing, to be perfectly honest. So I think it's very, very, very good. So yeah, he doesn't perfectly interlink them, so they don't raise a red flag. He pings them, which is good. And I know this particular person will provide you with a reporter where he's put all your links as well. So they're all on sites from PageRank 1 to 7. So very, very good. Will do these link wheels for you. So all you need to do is a keyword, URL, article, and an email address, and there you are. So I mean, this is a good one. When he's shown you a picture of a link wheel there, which I'm sure you're familiar with after seeing our diagrams earlier on. So I mean, this is the sort of service you can get on here, and if you just do a search, type link wheel in there, you'll find people that will do this for you at a variety of prices. Now, you may not be entirely comfortable perhaps with using Digital Point, so you may want to use a site like Elance or Rent-A-Coder or Guru.com or Freelancer.com or whatever it might be. Using a site like that, you can obviously find people and you can hire them to do a specific job. Now, with these sites, you can obviously expect to pay a little bit more, but you can still get some very, very good pricing done on them for you. So, you know, consider using these sites as well. I mean, I'm not going to go through using Elance or any of these sites at all. But what I will show you last of all is this. If you do a Google for link wheel creation or something like that, you will see people here that will offer you the service. So if we just click at one at random, let's just try this one here and see what it says. I mean, here's one of the companies. I don't know how much I trust them, because let's face it, they've got an error up here. They don't have any pricing on it either, which instantly puts me off. However, one thing they do, which is rather nice of them, is here you are. Here's some very nice ideas for sites that you can use. So there's a number of sites here you may want to use: Xanga, LiveJournal, NewsAlloy, and so on. So some good ideas here. But you can see what they do is they offer. They're not going to be cheap, because you get 7 unique articles written, 7 Web 2.0 properties, 1 custom video, your RSS feed submitted, social bookmarking of each site, and 2 links per. So yeah, they do a lot for you, but I imagine it's fairly pricey because they don't show you a price. So let's go back and have a look at another one. Let's just click on this one and see what this one says. Okay, so here's another one. Again, they've got a nice little picture there. Don't give anything away though. And you can see, what do? They give you 12 unique articles on 12 unique websites. All of them are social bookmarks. All of the RSS feeds. All of the articles get some backlinks to them. And it's $60 per link wheel. Or you can get a new complex one, which is $80. So that's not particularly expensive. That's not a bad price for 12 unique articles. But you saw over here on Digital Point, for $60 we were getting 60 sites. So you've got to decide what you want. These are obviously, they're doing it all for you. So with this one, you would have to write the article. You don't have one article used, and you would have to then social bookmark it, submit the RSS feeds and everything else. That these will do it for it. So it depends upon your budget, it depends upon your strategy. If you've got the money, something like this is well worth doing. In fact, is it worth hiring somebody to do this full time for you if you can afford to? Otherwise, you may want to do it yourself, or just use a cheap service like this. I mean, this one here looks very, very good. It will do the job for you, and it's a good start. So yeah, it's a good start to use one of these. As I said, it depends upon your strategy and what you want to achieve as to which one of these you're going to use. But that's basically outsourcing. Remember, with outsourcing, you get what you pay for. So you're getting a good quality service here. They're doing quite a lot for you. I mean, to get 12 articles written, if that's $10 an article that you're paying a writer, then you know, that's $120. I mean, even a cheap writer, you're probably looking at $60 for 12 articles. So that's a very, very good deal, really. So think about how you're going to outsource it, what you want to achieve, know your budget, and stick to it. You know, don't go spending hundreds of dollars if you don't have it. But outsourcing is really going to speed up the link wheel creation, because obviously you can focus on creating more sites or doing whatever you need to do, while somebody else is concentrating on building the link wheel and your business for you.